Hi guys, this is Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today I want to take you for a walk around the 6x12 shore track 9,900 pound GVW dump trailer. We videoed this particular unit before, but in the 4-inch oversized single ram. This has the optional scissor hoist upgrade. So I want to focus mainly on that scissor hoist to get started here. So we haven't traditionally stocked this with regularity. We are now going to stock this as a regular item here in addition to the regular single ram. So again, it's got the scissor hoist upgrade. I want to show you some of the features that make a scissor hoist possibly worth looking at for somebody that maybe has a higher duty cycle, like a commercial guy. So you'll notice first and foremost where the scissor mounts to the frame, right about there. It's the front side of the fender, versus a single ram would traditionally mount about the midpoint of the fender. So you're gaining, give or take, 3 feet of leverage. Of course, leverage would be the name of the game, just like a seesaw, to get items to dump and the force exerted to get them out. So again, this actually also comes in an optional telescopic hoist. We're going to do that in a different video because we're also going to stock the telescopic. We've seen more and more folks looking for a 6-wide dump trailer, especially also that 99 GVW. Telescopic, of course, would mount at the front and go up from there. So this is a 6x12. It's going to weigh in about 3,100 to 3,200 pounds. It's going to give you about 7,000 pound illegal payload plus your tongue weight. Tongue weight's going to come in about 10 to 15% of the 10,000 pounds. So somewhere between 7 to 8,500 pounds, depending on how it's loaded. Take a look up front. Standard equipment, everything on this except for the scissors. So we're going to have a 7,000 pound drop leg jack. They put a grease zerd on it for durability. Also notice that jack is bolted on, so if you ever left it down and drove off, it'd be easily replaceable. You also notice on the jack, you simply pull that pin out, the inner leg drops down to the ground and you'd repin it. No need to carry around wood blocks. You notice the chains are up off the ground. They've got standard chain holders inside there. Also a toolbox with locking handle. It's got a 20-foot remote cord. KTI made in the USA pump. It's got a Deca Deep Cycle Group 24 marine battery. Notice Shore Trac uses a 5-inch tube tongue, 5-inch tube mainframe, and then a 4-inch tube bed frame. So some manufacturers on a 6-wide dump wouldn't use an actual bed frame. They'd simply take the sidewalls down past and form it in. This is a little bit nicer way of building the trailer. So again, 4-inch tube bed frame. Notice they also silicone the joints between the bed and the frame. Keep the rust and elements out a little bit more. So again, there's a close-up of the scissor hoist itself. What makes a scissor useful, it'll stroke a little bit farther than a cylinder would. It gives you a little bit of a mechanical advantage there. And again, because it will stroke farther, of course, it can mount a little bit farther forward and still get you the same dump angle. So this mounts a lot like the single ram traditional trailer, where it's going to push off a bulkhead. Frame's going to absorb some of that stress when it's redirecting force from the horizontal to vertical position. A couple things that we like about how Shore Trac manufactures this: they use tube cross members where it headers up at, so you get a lot of strength at your push point. Also notice with the 4-inch frame, those are full height cross members. They're 4-inch. A lot in the industry are going to use a 3-inch cross member on these guys, so they're a little bit heavier on the floor supports. Some guys get caught up on maybe the spacing or gauges. There's a lot that goes into it. So of course this, again, is the 4-inch height on it. Another detail we like on Shore Trac, their undermount ramps. They do a retainer on them to keep it from pulling away, and then this flat plate would bear the weight on the back end of the dump. You'll notice that plate is going to be 1/2 inch. We see some in the industry that do quarter. Quarter will bend. I've seen it bend, and unfortunately I've sold some trailers that use 1/4 inch and bent, which is why we like the 1/2 inch. A couple other details we like on these: radial tires are standard along with the Easy Lube hubs. Of course, this being a 10K, it's going to come with a load range D, which would be an 8-ply radial tire, 225/75 R15. Again, here's a closer picture of the 5-inch tube tongue and frame. Again, you'll notice the silicone between the joints, and then here's the new integrated side step. They've done side steps before, but instead of the punch plate, they would put expanded mesh. Very nice design. Is a small upgrade on that. Also notice they do a very nice job on their wiring. Everything's sealed, grommeted, ran in frame. Even down to the brake wiring, we'll show you here. It's a fully sealed setup. A couple other features we like would be the front and rear bulkhead. It's designed to give you a spot for a sideboard extension. Also puts your lights up where the guy behind you can see them and out of the way when you're dumping. Also gives you a spot to mount a tarp. So you'll notice at the front there, it's got a spot to mount. Going down the side, you'll notice this integrated keyway. Keyway is nice because it gives a lot of strength to that sidewall. Now there's very few that do this. Fair amount of the ones that do weld a keyway on, not form it in. Forming it in makes it very strong. It also keeps from having rust streaks and whatnot on the outside where water is going to get down in that seam. With this being formed, of course, not an issue. They give you stake pockets going down the sides in case you want to build the sides up additionally. Of course, the first foot is very easy with the bulkhead. If you wanted to go beyond a foot, you would need to use the stake pockets. This comes standard with a combo spreader gate at the back, so most customers are going to use the traditional barn door where you take the center, unpin, come back along the side. They put a clip partway back the back where the gate can come all the way back. That's important because some in the industry only come out to a 90 degree, and I've seen people bend particularly that side because they'll open up the doors back in and dump it, and then that gets caught on a pile of stone on the far side. Look for a trailer that the gate comes all the way back. Again, I've seen that happen more on a few occasions. Of course, all LED lights on this particular unit. You notice, again, they're all sealed beam lights there. Short track on this is going to use a 20-inch side. Generally in the industry, you're going to see 18 to 24 inch. This one fits kind of in the middle. But again, with the bulkhead, you're going to get another foot if you're a guy that does need a little bit more height. Again, the undermount ramps on these are standard. The 7K jack you see up front is standard as well. A couple of the more common features we might add to this would be the tarp kit. Occasionally we'll do a spare tire. Once in a while we might also get a customer that wants an adjustable coupler, but Trac does a pretty phenomenal job with their powder coating on these units. They're one of the few plants in the industry that I've been to, and we've toured quite a few different plants that store their steel inside. They blast the finished product. They blast with a steel grit, not sand. They phosphate wash, and then they do a zinc chromate. Very durable paint. I'd say more so than anything, their key to success on these would be getting a proper profile in the steel instead of just laying powder coat on top of a flat surface. Their surface, whenever they powder coat these, is much like two pieces of Velcro. So again, 7K jack. They've got the front toolbox standard. They put a tread plate lid on them. This is also available in a 10 foot, although we don't generally stock it in a 10 with the scissors. It would just be pretty unnecessary. Notice some of the other little details Short Trac does. They take and put a reinforcement gusset on the center of the bulkhead. Show you a couple other little details. They put zerts on the mainframe hinge. You also notice the tube frame. They cap the end of the tube frame to protect it. They also do double pass welds on the hinge point. These guys have some really good engineers in-house to where they don't overbuild, they don't underbuild. We tend to find they just properly engineer it. Generally see very consistent weld quality out of these guys, very consistent powder coat quality. My name's Greg at Best Choice Trailers. If you have any questions, give us a ring, 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com.